Hey folks, welcome back. It's been a while since our last Facebook Live, but we are going to do these more often, or at least whenever we feel like it. So I have some guests. Alyssa and Alex, two of our very favorite Strong On coaches. And today we are going to cover the differences and the fundamentals of some of the kettlebell pressing variations. So we're going to cover, hey Rick, what's going on? What's up, everyone who's joining us? Stop in the comments, say hello. What was I saying? Presses, variations. So we're gonna go through press, push press, jerk, and probably long push press, just to explain some of these exercises, the differences, why these differences exist, and when and where certain of these variations is more appropriate than others. Does that sound good? Am I missing anything? Okay, so where do we start?
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it in the order that you might consider learning them, right? So what that's gonna mean is we're gonna start off going a little bit more slowly. So that's gonna start with the military press. If you can do something slowly, odds are you'll be able to do it quickly. There's really no guarantee that the reverse is going to be true. So we're gonna start off demonstrating the military press. So Alyssa is going to clean the bell.
What's up, Sean?
Gets it into the rack position. It's gonna be variable for every person. Some people are gonna be a little more in here, some people a little further out. From here, she's just gonna press it overhead.
Good. So notice a few points here. The military press is a grind. So I zoomed out a little bit, but you'll notice she is not using her lower body to get the kettlebell overhead. So that's a clear demarcation of a military press. And you'll see the differences between this and the push press specifically, and then the jerk and others later. So strict upper body grind.
The other thing to note is that if you were watching closely, so when she was pressing it over her head, she was not doing any of this stuff. If you're going for like a 1 rep max, that very well might happen. But in your general training, the weight should be moderate enough that you should have minimal upper body movement. It doesn't mean zero. Your body's gonna have to move out of the way very slightly. You just don't want it to be like super exaggerated, that sort of a thing, all right? There's a time and a place for that.
Okay.
The time is never. You can probably
Right
guess the
before you
place.
die.
Right, exactly. So up next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover the long push press. This is going to use your skills that you build up in slower movements to start working you toward faster movements, like what you're gonna see in the push press and then definitely in the jerk. So what she's gonna do, she's gonna clean the bell once again, and she's gonna go down into a deep squat, and then from here, she's going to stand up and then press it overhead. Now you notice that there's no separation between the squat and the press. The minute she stands all the way up, the bell starts going up. So this kind of takes out the more difficult part of the lift, which for many people is right at the bottom. So this is what's going to help you start building up toward a push press. Push press is going to be a little bit...
Hold on, one quick note about the long push press, because people sometimes will blur this with a thruster, which it's not. A thruster is kind of a speed exercise. It's more of a metabolic conditioning exercise. The push press, Alyssa, if you could do it again, the goal of a push press really should be to help you overload a press or transition to the next size heavier kettlebell. What we really want to do with the push press is use just the least amount of momentum. So she's pretty speedy with it, but imagine that this is a heavier bell and she's trying to, really grind it out, but she can't quite grind it, right? So what we do is we take a deep squat to start to build just a little bit of momentum to help finish the job. But the goal again is to apply the least amount of momentum needed to finish the job, to help us accumulate more volume or work with a heavier size kettlebell, and then we can also use the negative or lowering it down, the eccentric, to build the strength there as well. So it may look similar to a thruster. The thing that differentiates it most would be the intention behind it, correct?
Absolutely.
I'm just making this up as I go. So
Couldn't have said it better myself.
you can fact check me later. Yep.
Good.
Give us some likes. John Reed said it's too shaky.
John, I hope you like that one.
We don't have a good camera.
How about
man.
now, John? How about now?
All right. So the next one is going to be the push press. And this is where the technique starts to change a little bit, and also probably our training aims are going to be a little bit different as well. So with the push press, before she even starts, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you turn slightly to the side, and then we're going to demonstrate, even more to the side. You're going to have your feet a little closer together. We're going to demonstrate what's called the dip. So obviously the squat...
Now that she turned to the side, do you want me to go back around front?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. If you wouldn't mind, yeah. So she's going to dip at the knees. You notice how
Alex,
I'm
what's up?
Squat. This is
There's
kind of-
another Alex. I'm talking to Alex on screen.
Okay.
Behind the screen. You're the Alex on screen.
Okay, good. This is so confusing.
Sorry, I'll stop interrupting now.
No worries. So the dip is where the knees come forward. Now they don't buckle inward. Can you show them in the front? Right? So she's not buckling inward with the knees like so. When they go forward, they just go straight forward. What this is going to do is this is going to provide just enough thrust or hip drive, or leg drive, I should say, to push the kettlebell overhead. All right? So she's going to use this. It's not going to be a squat type of motion, pushing overhead. Knees dip forward.
Very quad dominant.
Exactly. Just going to demonstrate with the push press.
All right, I've got to go forward, and then I can go from the side as well.
Yeah, sure. One.
Or,
Dip, drive.
Yeah.
push.
More explosion on this one. So this is the opposite of the push press now. Now we want to use as much force from the lower body as possible to get the weight overhead. We are now in ballistic territory. It sounds like something you might hear in like a war zone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty bad.
Right. Well, you know.
Ryan, what's up?
Yeah. I don't know if it's as dramatic as a war zone would be, but you're certainly going to feel like you're getting beat up a little bit now.
Ballistic territory, shaky camera.
Yeah. Well,
Ooh.
this is certainly
It's
not what I
it's like a
expected.
Bourne film.
Almost, yeah. But with
But me
female
instead.
action hero, exactly. instead of this.
sorry.
You guys ready for
Sure.
the? I didn't see you do the. Alyssa was practicing this a little bit beforehand, so
Practicing as a
if you
Yeah.
want an exercise that will make you look very awkward, then stay tuned.
Yes, because it's coming up right now. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working the jerk. So the jerk is a great exercise because it allows you to put much heavier weight overhead, and it's a lot more ballistic. And this has one extra phase in it that the push press does not. So the dip happens first, just like what we would have with the push press, right? But after she uses the leg drive to get the bell overhead, she's going to dip underneath it again, catch kettlebell.
Like this, guys.
She's got it. Good. She's going to drop and dip.
You said good, but no, meh. So the key here is Alyssa's dipping too late is the problem. What you want to do is you want to think that as the bell's going up, you're trying to sneak under the bell, right? You're trying to, yes, like that. That was the cue she needed. You're trying to shorten the distance the bell has to move by getting yourself under the kettlebell. It's an efficiency thing. That's what we're really going for. So, needs some practice, but this is good. That's better. So she's starting to get more under the bell. And this is a move that once you understand the components and understand the intention, I'm trying to get under the bell, it's going to take a little bit of time to get the timing right. Like anything else, like the clean, like the snatch, it's just going to take practice to learn. And this is where you're going to have that first dip, but then you're actually going to want to shoot the hips back and down. I'm doing it with the camera in my hand, so it's super
We don't want
shaky.
it to be too shaky for
This is, I
baby
think,
John
this is
Green.
like your first time doing jerks, right?
It is.
Yeah,
Quite
so
good.
not bad for first time. This is not bad.
Alex is such a good coach.
Right. Do what I can.
Right? Does that make sense? Everybody, give Alyssa some likes and loves there. It was
Yeah.
good, very good first attempt.
But if you're looking
I'll
to
do
learn
a
it for the first time,
snap clap.
Oh, thank you. So, long story short, if you could also do this in reverse order if you want to start putting heavier weights overhead from the military press. So, if you're already good at all these different moves and you want to start getting used to having the bell over your head, let's say you're at like let's say 24, 28 kilo military press, and you want to start working your way toward a 32, maybe once or twice a week, you could start doing some jerks with a heavier bell. Let's say like your target weight of a 32. And as time goes on, and you're pretty good at that, you can switch it to, let's say, the push press, and then eventually the long push press, and then finally, when you're ready, you can attempt just a standard military press and see how you do.
Great.
So, hope this helped out. Alyssa, thank you very much
No problem.
for being the demonstrator.
Thank you. And then we'll see. Goodbyes here. Goodbye.